For all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time. That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good.
Very good.
Coming in hot, Jimmy, coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh,
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where? Ginger.
Well, hello to you, and you. Good morning, Colton James Hodge. Good to see you, brother, once again. I appreciate you, man. You good people, just know that. Welcome in, everybody. We have made it to Friday morning. Y'all, a lot has happened this week. Of course, as you guys know, we read the second amended complaint for Lauren Pisciotta last night and read the Derek Dixon article from the Higher Report speaking out against Style Perry for the first time anywhere. So, a lot going on. But this morning, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destinations for y'all this morning. Shannon Sharpe, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Shannon Sharpe is still walking around here. And there's an update. Couple updates with Shannon Sharpe. We'll get to that. P. Diddy, he is not rather out the woods yet. As y'all know, he could be facing up to 20 years, but wait till you see this receipt from Media Takeout, okay? Or what they believe could happen, all right? Then Charles and Angela Oakley, they're in the news. Charles said something, and my lord, everybody went with it. We'll talk about that. Nicki Minaj, the queen of rap, resorting to this. I'm going to show y'all. Just wait till you see that. Don Lemon got a huge win. Okay. All right. We'll talk about that. Cenat, brother. I mean, it must be the money, in the words of Nelly. I mean, sincerely, really, bro, you don't understand what we're doing around here. Then finally, Chris Brown, update on his trial in London. We got a lot to get to. Higher is Wayne Lowe's available, but either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. One thing to know, and two things for sure, that over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Roll it.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price.
And it's a little early for this.
Now this It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But I'm
an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
Early.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot happens early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is. Julie Chen Moves is a new morning. Congratulations on the 27th season of Big Brother. It premiered last night. So congratulations to Julie Chen Moves and the entire team at Big Brother. Just wait until they get to their 30th season, y'all. That's going to be crazy. And also on top of that, to Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Harry Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez, you are absolutely right. On this channel right here, a lot happens early. Good morning, everybody. Hopefully all is well with each and every single one of you. Let's get to the getting because we have 7 destinations for y'all. So let's kick it off here with this exclusive from Media Takeout here. Now, Media Takeout, it's a needle and a haystack. So give some love, grace, and space to it, okay? But here we go. Shannon Sharpe exclusive right here. Exclusive. Shannon Sharpe close to settling with the accuser for tens of millions of dollars here. Shannon Sharpe's scandal deepens as multi-million-dollar lawsuit near shocking settlement. What started as whispers in the sports world has now exploded into one of the most closely watched legal dramas of the year and may be coming to an expensive end. It may be coming to an expensive end. It may be coming to an expensive end. Shannon Sharpe, the 56-year-old former NFL superstar turned charismatic media personality, is on the verge of settling a massive lawsuit that has threatened to completely derail his post-football career. The lawsuit filed by a 19-year-old former girlfriend alleges sexual assault and emotional manipulation. Claims Sharpe has fiercely denied, but despite his public denials, insiders say he's probably scrambling to make a deal and it's going to cost him tens of millions of dollars. The woman, whose identity has not been made public due to the sensitive nature of the case, reportedly told attorneys she possesses video evidence of the alleged assault. That video was expected to be introduced in court had the trial proceeded. Shannon Sharpe's lawyers admitted that they initially offered a $10 million settlement earlier this year in hopes of avoiding a public trial. The accuser refused, pushing the matter into the spotlight and unleashing a media firestorm. Since the lawsuit was filed, Sharpe's once booming media empire has taken several serious hits. His abrupt departure from ESPN raised eyebrows, although his team claimed it was unrelated. Sources close to the network says the decision was mutual amid growing reputational concerns. His wildly popular YouTube show, which once racked up millions of views per episode, has seen a steep drop in traffic. To make matters worse, celebrity guests who once lined up to join podcasts is widely pulled out, unwilling to be associated with the scandal. So where do things stand now? According to exclusive sources who spoke to Media Takeout, Sharpe's legal team and the accusers' attorneys were expected in a Las Vegas courtroom this week to finalize pre-trial procedures. Sharpe's attorneys appeared on schedule, but the accuser's legal team did not show up. You heard that correctly. The accuser's legal team did not show up. The accuser's legal team did not show up. The presiding judge granted a 45-day continuance, reportedly to give both sides more time to finalize a private settlement. But not everyone believes a settlement means guilt. People settle lawsuits for all kinds of reasons, said celebrity attorney Margaret Vance. Sometimes it's simply about avoiding prolonged media attention and career destruction. Well, I mean, even if a settlement happens, I mean, what's happened has happened. Okay, so it is what it is. Guilt or innocence becomes irrelevant in the court of public opinion. Did you not watch the day trial, Margaret Vance? It's not over. Still, public sentiment is shifting. Fans are divided, some defending Sharpe as a victim of extortion. Others are turning their backs entirely. Social media has been ablaze with hashtags like hashtag rather protect young women or hashtag Sharpe truth, each reflecting the polarized reactions to the unfolding case. As for the alleged victim, little is known about her except that she is not backing down quietly. Her legal team has been tight-lipped, but the silence appears to be strategic. The pressure is on. Shannon Sharpe is in a race to close the deal before further damage is done. Just with 45 days until their next court appearance, all eyes on what could be one of the largest private settlements involving a sports figure in recent years. Sorry, y'all. Oh, wait, I think I got it. Yep, I did. Okay, good. Whether this ends in a signed check or a trial watched by millions, one thing's for certain, Shannon Sharpe's future, both professionally and personally, hangs in the balance. Yeah, I mean, what do I think about this destination? I'm not surprised by it just because we didn't hear anything about it. doesn't mean that it ended, right? Not to mention, too, let me go back to this for a bit. I'm surprised that Shannon Sharpe did come out with the Shannon Sharpe's collection like Michael Strahan did, because like he's on TV every day. So, but that's going back. Don't go nightcap before, but Shay Media. So I can only imagine how Skip Bayless is, maybe feeling about this. Does he have a feeling on it? Does he not care? I'm sure Fox Sports is watching like, well, we didn't know all this. So with some context here, let's go to Jesse Weber from Law and Crime Network. Here we go here.
At a first court appearance in a $50 million rape and abuse lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel showed up, but At a first court appearance in a $50 million rape and abuse lawsuit, Shannon Sharpe's legal counsel showed up, but the plaintiff's legal team, not so much. The surprise no-show raises some serious questions about the future of a case already loaded with explosive allegations and high-stakes drama. We are going to break down how all of this unfolded, what could come next in a lawsuit that is tangled in celebrity controversy, and what we should be thinking about as we talk next moves for Shannon Sharpe. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. The first hearing in the explosive $50 million civil lawsuit against Pro Football Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe took an unexpected twist on July 9th, 2025, and that is when apparently no attorney representing the plaintiff showed up at the Clark County District Court out in Nevada. Unusual, potentially damaging. We're going to discuss that, but you have to start asking questions about the direction, maybe the stability of a lawsuit that's delivered more than its fair share of surprises since first grabbing the headlines several months ago. Now, before we dive into the latest developments, got to do a little bit of a rewind here. So the lawsuit that was filed on April 20th, 2025 by prominent Houston attorney Tony Busby on behalf of an anonymous woman in her 20s contains...
By the way, Tony Busby is a lawyer that went after Jay-Z, right? And that case got thrown out, of course. So Tony Busby is known for these celebrity scandal lawsuits that he throws to celebrities, right? Or he files against celebrities, right? So there's that. Just to add context, conjecture, and connection. So here we go.
Graphic allegations against the former NFL tight end turned media superstar Shannon Sharpe. And the complaint alleges that Sharpe engaged in what is essentially a pattern of sexual violence and psychological abuse during what began as a consensual relationship with the plaintiff, who, by the way, is apparently more than 30 years his junior. According to court documents, the plaintiff met Sharpe at a Los Angeles gym when she was just 19 years old, and the lawsuit claims that Sharpe, quote, incessantly pursued the young woman, demanding her phone number, eventually asking her to visit his home, and most disturbingly, possibly, is the filing alleges that Sharpe required this woman to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, before their first meetings, although this request is something she repeatedly refused. Now, the relationship, according to her, allegedly turned abusive, verbally screaming at or berating her, violent sexual episodes, control. But the most graphic allegation describes Sharpe allegedly sexually assaulting and raping her, including ignoring her screams and refusing.
And by the way, y'all, if y'all are looking for the intel on that, let me just show you here, because we did cover it here on Brantley's Virtual Tour Live. Just type in Shannon Sharpe here. SHANN. Shannon, SHARPE. Show y'all right here. You see, we talked about quite a bit right here. The Shannon Sharpe civil lawsuit breakdown discussion. So just type in Shannon Sharpe here. You got to get past all the shorts. And then you'll see right here, Easy say Shay that lawsuit is shaky with that heat. So that was a play on words because Keke Palmer said hunky. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for the breakdown, the lawsuit, it's right there. We covered it in 1 hour, 58 minutes, and 21 seconds there. So yeah, we covered that. All right, back to the video here. Shout out to Virgin Voyages too, okay? The only 18 and up cruise line. Adults only. Okay, did I mention that? Adults only. One more time. Adults only. Okay, all right. Beautiful destination. Okay, I mean, it's beautiful. And if you are a remote worker, they do have a pass where you can actually work on the ship, and that means all your food, all your drinks are included, Wi-Fi plus some bonus perks. Okay, so I don't know if they're still offering the pass, but we also talked about that here on Bradley's Virtual Tour Live. So there you go.
To wear a condom. Now, the lawsuit also claims that Sharpe secretly recorded their intimate encounters, shared the videos without her consent. But maybe the most chilling aspect of this are the alleged threats that were captured in audio recordings that were released by Tony Busby. In fact, in one clip, a voice identified as Sharpe's can be heard saying, "If you say that word one more time, I'm going to bleep and choke the bleep out of you when I see you." Now, the woman, allegedly the plaintiff in the case, then can be heard saying she doesn't want that, while the voice resembling Sharpe responds, "Yes, you do. I don't think you have a choice in the matter." So it becomes a question, do you take that literally? Or I think the other way of looking at it from the defense's point of view would be this is role-playing of some kind. Well, Sharpe has adamantly denied all the allegations through his attorney, or one of his attorneys, Lanny Davis, who called the lawsuit, quote, a classic definition of blackmail. And the former NFL star took to Instagram shortly after the lawsuit became public, posting a video where he called the allegations, quote, a shakedown, promised to fight back aggressively. Quote, what they're getting is sued, Sharpe declared in the since-deleted post. And he even suggested that Busby planned to release edited portions of a sex tape and challenged him to release the full recording.
This is a shakedown. That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out. I don't have it, or I would myself. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup. What they're getting is sued for defamation and trying to take me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
So now let's talk a little law here. So typically, defendants in lawsuits, in federal lawsuits, are given 21 days to respond with an answer once they're provided the summons and complaint. An answer being where they go through the allegations in the complaint line by line, paragraph by paragraph, and they admit, deny, say they don't have enough information. It's a response. And, you know, what's interesting about this is, according to reporting from the New York Post, it doesn't seem that Sharpe has legally responded as of yet. Can't really confirm
that he has not legally responded yet. Has not legally responded yet, but yet there's a lawsuit out on him. Oh, Lord.
From that, but that's what the reporting seems to suggest. And we'll talk more about that when we get into it. But first, I want to bring on a special guest to help me break down the latest, including what happened in this hearing. I am joined by sports attorney Dan Lust, professor, New York Law School. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for taking the time.
Always good to see you, Jesse. Happy to help.
Thanks. So what are the typical timelines for a high-profile civil lawsuit like this to progress from filing to resolution? Am I right that it's 21 days to respond? I mean, is it typical? How does it work for people who don't know how civil lawsuits typically work?
Yeah, I mean, this is like law school basics, right? We're talking about how a lawsuit started, right? There's the filing of the complaint. There's the service of the complaint. So, you know, certainly depends on what court you're in, what state you're in, but generally, right, once you are served with the complaint, sometimes you have 21 days, sometimes you add some more time if it's personal service versus a mailing, right? But either way, once a commencement papers are started, you have a set amount of days to respond to that. Otherwise, you risk being held in default, either by plaintiff's counsel's motion or sometimes, right, particularly in federal court, something like sua sponte, right? And that's a fun Latin term where the judge themselves decides to hold you in default. So it is somewhat odd, and I know Jesse there's probably more questions than answers. We get to this hearing, and we have no response from defendant, but we also have a no-show from plaintiff. So it's not really your typical setting how we're starting this debate.
So a no-show from the... Look at my laptop here. My laptop is here. Okay, I'm plugging in the charge to the laptop is what I meant to say. But anyway, so a no-show from the defense, right? But also a no-show from the plaintiff. Yeah.
In this case, a very high-profile case, but I wouldn't say this is following the normal playbook, so to speak.
By the way, as we're talking about a big lawsuit like this, how could I not talk about experts in the litigation field? Morgan & Morgan. This is America's largest injury law firm, our sponsor. In the past few months, Morgan & Morgan do the phone. So if you're injured, you can easily start a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar.
Buckle up.
A lot of people love Mama June. They love to hate me and hate to love me.
Because the wheels.
The judge can send.
Yeah, I'll get into the hearing and what happened or didn't happen in a second, because I think it's interesting that apparently a lawyer didn't show up and why that might have happened. But going back to this, if it's real, if the reporting's true, and this was filed in April, I mean, we're already in July. We would say 21 days, 30 days. I didn't see anything. Yeah, I didn't see anything about him getting some sort of extension. He might have, but what would be the reason to not prepare an answer? And would there be a situation where the court says, we're going to allow the case to go forward? You're not in default, just file an answer as soon as you can. I mean, it just seems strange that based on the reporting, I think it was from the New York Post a few days ago, that they said there was no legal response yet. Can you give any insight into that?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I tell my clients, right, like the wheels of justice turn very slowly, and sometimes you don't really have an answer, right? And sometimes just, hey, what is stopping these attorneys from just kind of pushing the case out indefinitely? So behind the scenes, judges are graded on their own rubrics about how quickly they're adjudicating cases. So no judge is in the business of just allowing a case to be we'll say extended indefinitely. And judges, part of their job, in addition to getting a decision on the merits or pushing the parties toward a settlement, is to push the parties in some direction and not just kind of lay out there. And Jesse, just, I guess, like strategically, when Lanny Davis came onto the case, he came in very aggressively. And I know we spent a lot of time in our last conversation talking about making public of certain settlement negotiations. Lanny Davis also said that Sharpe was going to go on the aggressive with his own defamation case. So, I just from the initial posturing of the case, Sharpe is not taking an aggressive standpoint. Quite the contrary. He's just kind of playing wait and see, I guess, for lack of a better term. So, if people have questions as to why Sharpe and his legal team, and I think there's some new lawyers involved now, it's certainly a changing of the strategy, which on day one was, let's go 100 miles per hour, let's go on the offensive. And now when you don't really file an answer, it's safe to say you're not even playing defense. You're just kind of doing nothing.
So it's interesting because I remember, and I think we all remember when Shannon Sharpe came out with that video and he was going to go ham, like this brother said. And after the audio came out, that's when everything started to happen. So that's when, ESPN said no. We talked about this on Merlin Sports Report Live, that allegedly that Around the Horn, which really was a great show. I don't think it should have went off the air. It was basically sports debate where you got points for it and then somebody won. That show been around for like 2 decades. Apparently, that slot was going to be for Shannon Sharpe on ESPN. Now, we don't know if it was going to be, a Club Shay Shay live interview. We don't know if Shannon Sharpe was going to be a, commentator. with the Shay Shay Show, where he's giving, sports commentary and bringing pop culture and everything else. Basically a Sports Center 6 with Michael and Jamel Hill, Michael Smith and Janelle Hill edition, but it was going to be Shannon Sharpe doing that. We don't know. Okay. Then, of course, he almost had a deal with Volume, which is Colin Cowherd's network. And by the way, I'm sure Dreamers Pro Show has covered this as well, and many other people in the sports sector. By the way, shout out to all the people in the sports sector. I watch y'all on a regular basis. But then I think he still got his cognac brand, right? So yeah. So let's keep rolling.
Is that typical in the sense, like, you can say, okay, well, there's a change in circumstances, we're going to come off aggressive first, but things can change. It's not necessarily that there was a mistake made with that comment. I mean, there could be a situation where you say thing one day and then there's a change in circumstances the next, right? I mean, I hear exactly what you're saying. And I believe Lonnie Davis had talked about how Shannon Sharpe had rejected a settlement offer. And like you said, we talked about that. Was that wise to make that public? But I guess there could be maybe just a reason why there seems to be a change.
I mean, I'll give you my best guess, right? So it looks like Lanny Davis, for we'll say best case scenario, is one of now a number of lawyers involved on Sharpe's side. So it could be, right, you have new representation, they want to slow things down, they want to just change the gear, right? The other, just I want to throw this out there, and again, you and I are trying to make sense of what is pretty much a barren docket at this point. Why, and certainly on the plaintiff side, people are not, this is not a foreign concept. Plaintiff's attorneys in a case like this will generally work off of some contingencies, so they'll get paid assuming plaintiff side wins, right? They're not generally working off of a billable hour system. Very different on the defense side, where defense counsel are getting paid by the hour, right? Billable hours. So if Sharpe's side were to take an aggressive standpoint on a defense case, for the most part, again, we're not aware of what Sharpe's arrangement is here, but you'd be paying attorneys by the hour to take an aggressive standpoint on that defense.
Right.
Now, hypothetically, Jesse, let's say the parties, since you and I last spoke, right, at the end of April, beginning of May, whenever that was, let's say the parties have made some additional traction towards settlement. And as Sharpe's lawyer, Davis, said, at one point they were making some progress. So let's say over the last 2 months or so, they've made some progress. That would be a reason to slow down these court proceedings. So Sharpe's side is not racking up the legal hours, speeding a case along in terms of starting the process of discovery and getting a deposition schedule. And maybe they're having some real substantive momentum of moving this forward. That's also a plausible explanation. It's not just changing of the guard. It could be some progress is being made behind the scenes that you and I wouldn't see.
Well, let's talk about it, because let's go to this hearing. So Judge Anna Albertson presided over what should have been a routine meeting for the civil suit that has obviously made national headlines since it was filed in April. But
by the way, y'all, not a criminal case. A criminal case has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. A civil case has to be basically the allegations that are alleged. Did they do it or not? Yes or no? So, and if you remember the O.J. Simpson trial, right? The criminal, it was a not guilty verdict, right? But in the civil trial, they got him, right? And a lot of people celebrated the fact that that civil trial verdict was comeuppance or karma or, got him for the criminal trial. So this is not a criminal trial. This is a civil trial. So just wanted to add that to the time. Here we go.
The hearing became notable for who wasn't there. Any legal representation for the anonymous female plaintiff accusing the 57-year-old media personality of sexual assault, battery, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Only one attorney appeared in that downtown Las Vegas courtroom. There was Robert DeMarco, who's representing Sharpe's legal team, which, by the way, is primarily composed of New York-based lawyers. And DeMarco explained to Judge Albertson that other attorneys on Sharpe's team, they were currently handling cases out of state, so he was there. Now, the defense requested a 45-day extension to review the case's progress, which the judge granted. despite, and this was interesting, despite expressing surprise that Sharpe's team wasn't pushing for a quicker resolution, meaning like a settlement. So the next hearing is now scheduled for September 3rd. Dan, a lot to make here. How on earth is it possible that an attorney for the plaintiff doesn't show up? How unusual is that? Is there a significant reason why that would happen? I can't imagine it's strategic. You got to show up to court. But what's going on here? Does it say, wait a second, maybe this, I mentioned the word stability. Does it give you questions about the stability of this case?
Stability, viability. I mean, we can say that, but again, let's just play it like if a plaintiff's attorney doesn't show up to a case that they've commenced, right? They've made these big public statements, the case is out there, and you just no-show. And I understand maybe the attorneys are out of town, whatever else. There is, at least as far as I can tell, no tactical or strategic advantage to making yourself look bad in front of the judge, right? And we're not aware of this. It's possible there were conversations between the lawyers to maybe adjourn the appearance if you couldn't be available. It's possible. But strategically, I can't see the reason for not showing up if you're the plaintiff side. Now that's, I guess, step one, right? I don't have the answer to that. It could be, right, in my second scenario I laid out for you, that they're getting close on settlement and they don't need to move things along with the judge. It's possible. And I guess, Jesse, before I move on to the other part of this, if the sides are working towards some type of resolution, neither side, and they think it's plausible, they're making some real progress, it behooves both sides to get a discovery schedule from the judge that would set up these set dates that they have to accommodate by in the exchange of discovery and whatnot. So that would kind of put the gas pedal on the commencement of the case in real settings with the judge. So that seems to line up that defense counsel would say, hey, no big deal, plaintiff's not here, let's kick this out 45 days. Because alternatively, right, if there's no settlement progress and the parties aren't on the same page, if I'm accused, like Lanny Davis mentioned, of a completely frivolous case and this whole thing is defamatory, I am kicking and screaming that plaintiffs who commenced this case couldn't take the time to show up for the initial hearing. And we didn't hear that.
That part. I think that's a very, very well said summation from that, from the sports lawyer there, that if you kicked off this case with all these allegations, this, that, and the third, and you don't show up, it makes you look weak. Because in the words of Ayanna Van Sant, your behavior diminishes your message. So your actions, they cut your how can I say this? Your actions are cutting down the legitimacy of your case if you don't show up to court. Okay? All right. Almost done, y'all.
That from Sharpe's side. So I think it's, again, trying to make sense of what we have here. It seems that both parties are on the same page, or else, defense counsel didn't create a clean record as to this inexcused absence from plaintiff's side, which should have been cause for concern.
I think you make a really fair analysis of what might be going on. I agree with you. You think it was interesting that the judge even said, you want to push this out more? I mean, the judge even said there seemed to be a surprise that it's not being resolved. Does that give you a sense of where the judge's head is regarding maybe what's happening behind the scenes, but also maybe the merits of the case or the substance of the case?
Well, yeah, and let's not just say it was kicked for 45 days is a long time, right? You go in front of federal judges and you ask for an extension, right? I was in court somewhat recently and we asked for an extension of a preliminary conference, very similar to what's going on here. And the judge, federal court judge, said, no, not doing that. Come to court and explain to me why you needed kicked. So 45 days is a long period of time for the adjournment too. It's not 7 days, it's not a week. It's not, hey, judge, we're working it, we'll come right back. Defense counsel pushing this out 45 days to make up for plaintiff's counsel not being there is also worth paying attention to. I would say maybe a week, 2 weeks, tops 30 days. 45 days gives you a signal that the parties are in no rush to proceed on this. And again, I'm just looking at what Lanny Davis, the initial counsel for Sharpe, said on here. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to file for defamation. We haven't seen those, and we don't really see a pushing of the pedal in this case. So my spider sense is going off that the parties are in some type of communication working towards resolution. Again, not confirmed, but that's what the breadcrumbs seem to say.
Think it'd be advantageous for Shannon Sharpe to settle this lawsuit after the comments that were made, after his defense, after what he's being accused of? Do you think from a legal point of view and a career point of view and a PR point of view, it would make sense to settle the case?
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you why we have Spectrum. I'm on a video chat. Melissa's live stream with her audience.
It's tough to say, right? There will be a public that goes out and says any type of settlement, even if it's a no-pay settlement, even if there's no admission of guilt and there's a public statement that we settled it just to move on, there will be a good portion of the public that will view this as being an admission of guilt, even if it's not. So for Sharpe's career, that's very public focused and media focused, you wouldn't recommend a settlement on a case you have no liability on. But as we know from Sharpe's side, and this was, I remember, Jesse, you and I spoke about this initially, for Sharpe's side to admit that they themselves were offering millions of dollars to settle the case, that plaintiff's side was refusing, tells you, right, that they wanted to settle this. So it's not really what I think is, or what you think is wise or unwise. Sharpe's own legal representatives are out there saying that they have had previously millions of dollars in authority to settle the case. So he kind of has to eat that fact. And this is, again, me. I didn't understand the logic behind it at the time. That type of admission that we're trying to settle this case as a 7-figure plus valuation. And shortly after that lawyer made those statements public to the world, that's when Sharpe had to step aside from ESPN. So even the entertainment of settlement seemed to distance himself from ESPN. So that's why we have very mixed messaging for Sharpe's camp as a whole. And I think what's best for his career would be to fight these tooth and nail on the merits, especially after your lawyer came out and said this was defamatory.
And think about who he's going up against, because let's talk for a second about the plaintiff's choice of attorney, which has added just another layer of intrigue to this case. We're talking about Tony Busby, gained national attention for representing, more than 20 women in sexual misconduct cases against NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson. He's also filed lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, famously pursued a then dropped case against Jay-Z that resulted in the rapper countersuing. And on his Instagram announcing the Sharpe lawsuit, Busby had written, "I'm extremely proud to represent Jane Doe. It takes a great deal of courage to stand up against those with power, fame, and money. I look forward to pressing this case in court." But Busby's absence at the July 9th hearing, seemingly without an explanation or local counsel appearing on his behalf. I mean, this is just based on what we're seeing in the reporting. Maybe there's something else going on as we're talking about. It certainly could raise eyebrows. So Dan, when you think about his involvement in this case, how does that factor everything in?
Well, it's funny you said that, right? Like, I'm looking forward to pressing this case. And again, we're talking about what Sharpe's representative said on day one, what they're doing today. Busby is saying, I'm looking forward to pressing this case. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, impossible to press the case if you don't show up to court. And
facts. And, this is not a good look for Tony Busby, because if you guys remember, there was a guy named Michael Avenatti, right? And he represents Stormy Daniels and back, during the height of the campaign, right? Because 47 used campaign funds to hush up Stormy Daniels, right? And so with that being said, it's quite interesting to me that Michael Avenatti, who I think recently just got arrested, if I'm not mistaken. Now, if Tony Busby doesn't do what he needs to do, right, it could be that same energy, right? Because if you are presenting a case and you are not owning up to your stuff, that could turn out bad for your client. And the thing about Tony Busby that I truly don't get is he talks all this talk, but yet you never see him in a courtroom. I mean, listen, I'll give it to Mark Anfanello, the guy who said one bottle baby goes a long way, and Diddy's team. Even though they're still dumb as fuck, they were there every day. Okay, so I can at least give them that. Hey, two people, welcome in. We're just talking about Shannon Sharpe. There could be a settlement afoot. according to Media Takeout, there was a hearing, but there was no attorney for the accuser that came to court. There was only one lawyer that came for Shannon Sharpe's side, right? But here's the thing. There's no legal response from Shannon Sharpe yet in response to the accuser's lawsuit. So that's where we are. Almost done with the video. Then we got more Brandon's Virtual Tour Live coming up, y'all.
Yep. Kicked.
I didn't even need to go to New York Law School to know that. Yep.
Yeah. Did you see my eyebrows? They're raised. They're very high. They're not like Dwayne The Rock Johnson raised, but they're up. To put it bluntly, if you don't show up for court and it becomes a public record that you didn't show up to court, and you as the client are not aware that your lawyer planned not to show up for court, if there was some settlement, it is seemingly a fireable offense. Like, your job is to advance the case to get me paid, and you didn't show up. So, if Busby is off the case, right? If we see some type of substitution of counsel in the record, that would be very interesting. But the fact that we have not yet, and again, it's only been a couple of days since it happened, tells you that this was probably some coordinated effort. Again, you and I are sitting here trying to make sense of what is otherwise a barren docket on an extremely high-profile case involving one of the more high-profile plaintiffs' lawyers and one of the most high-profile sports media figures. And we have a docket that has basically no progress since April. So that, again, unless we're just dealing with
May, June, July, so 4 months, no progress.
An anomaly, like a big elephant in the sports law sense, there's something cooking behind the scenes that is not certainly publicly available.
One more thing I wanted to address. I want to just talk real quick about the media fallout, the celebrity reaction. So the allegations have already impacted Sharpe's really successful media empire. Now, he temporarily stepped away from ESPN, but
now Skip Bayless is in a lawsuit. Joy Taylor was mentioned in a lawsuit because apparently she screwed Charlie Dixon, who was an executive at Fox, and then there was a young lady that basically made a lawsuit saying that she was harassed and maligned and this, that, and the third at Fox. And Joy Taylor said, "Can I get somebody that can do black hair?" Right? Even though this person did the hair for CeeLo Green's "UQ" music video, right? So Joy Taylor said to this young lady that she is going to flip the fact, right, about SA on Charlie Dixon. And not to mention, this young lady also got SA'd at a party at Fox Sports. And also, too, there was a tapping foot mechanism that she had because she's nervous. And also, too, that she had uterine cancer. So these two right here, Skip Bayless and Joy Taylor, they are part of a lawsuit. Yeah. But Joy Taylor recently came back on some podcasts recently, but has not done a podcast with Taylor Rooks in a while. So just to give you guys updates on that. Okay, here we go.
He continued his podcast, the popular Shay Shay program, the Nightcap podcast. And again, this was all following the lawsuit's filing. Although, to be clear, no network has formally severed ties with him. And fellow sports media personality Stephen A. Smith addressed the situation in a 20-minute YouTube video titled "My Thoughts on the Shannon Sharpe Situation," calling it a sad situation. He was carefully walking the line between supporting his friend and acknowledging the seriousness of the allegations. Here's what he had to say.
It's a sad situation.
You know you're hungry for this late night cookie, but I'm a party getting started.
Shannon Sharpe is somebody I work with a couple of days a week. Shannon Sharpe is somebody that I brought to ESPN. We've grown close as friends. I'm sincerely hopeful and prayerful that he is completely innocent of the allegations that have been levied against him. I can't sit here and speak to his innocence or guilt.
And the case also hangs over Sharpe's professional future because before the lawsuit, he was reportedly negotiating a $100 million deal for his podcast network. And those talks appear on the outset to be on hold pending resolution of the legal situation. So Dan, when we talk about what's at stake for him here and his reputation, What are your just initial thoughts about it?
Yeah, certainly it's going to have a hit on we'll say the type of audience that would otherwise listen to Shannon, right? ESPN, nobody, again, not a secret, anybody's owned by Disney, and it shouldn't be a surprise where Disney parts ways, vis-a-vis ESPN with someone like Shannon. You could say it's temporary, you could say it's permanent, we'll figure this out. ESPN has certainly given people second chances, but the nature of these allegations are assuming they're true, assuming they're established, are very dark, and you wouldn't second guess ESPN for not bringing someone like that back. That said, in this day and age, in this media culture, Shannon has something very special, right? He has continued to produce content for the Club Shay Shay podcast, a very successful YouTube channel, and he is seemingly, in his own way, he's become his own boss. I'm not sure if he's going to quite get the valuations he was before this dispute, but he's still garnering a very large audience on his own YouTube channel. And in this day and age, some people, again, for better or for worse, are uncancelable because they are their own boss. Yep. And if they put out content and the public still has an appetite for it, they can still exist and make money on their own channels. But for a wider distribution via Fox or NBC or ESPN, they might not want to take a chance on an outside individual, right? Mm-hmm. Same kind of conversations that were happening with Pat McAfee once upon a time, who remains with ESPN. No stranger to controversies. They pop up every so often, but Pat is his own animal and commands his own audience. So if one day Pat got fired from ESPN, he could have his own Pat McAfee YouTube channel and I'm sure do very, very well as a complete independent. So that's...
Now, let me say this. Pat McAfee was on YouTube, right? So I don't know if this brother here don't know that, but he was on YouTube and then ESPN picked him up, right? There's a rumor that Pat McAfee is going to try to do his own version of College Game Day. There's only one College Game Day, Pat McAfee. There's only one Lee Corso, Pat McAfee. There is only one orange RV that pulls up to college campuses on Saturday morning. You can try to take the recipe, but the dish ain't gonna come out the same. Good damn. Now, SEC Nation, that's completely different. That's a whole football conference. They have the right to do their own version. But Pat McAfee doing a College Game Day, that's gonna fall dead on arrival. Child, it is what it is.
What Shannon has to weigh. It's a different culture than maybe we had 20, even maybe 10 years ago, where people did not have their own channels. And Jesse, you mentioned something interesting about someone like Stephen A., right, who hasn't had the same level of controversy of a Shannon or a Pat McAfee. Stephen A.
What you say? I know you lied. The Colin Kaepernick controversy, where Terrell Owens said Max Kellerman is more blacker than you, Stephen A., where he went after Kamala Harris, where he said that 47 should be given a chance to go to the NAACP conference. We talked about Savannah James. Bruh, he has had controversies, okay? You're just being very gracious to him, but let's roll on.
Hey, while at ESPN is building up these own channels, be it on YouTube, on social media.
Not to mention the NBA Finals and the draft. Nobody really wanted him there. And I said this before. Stephen A. is great at sports, but he's also good at sports. He's only diversifying himself so that way he won't lose relevance. Because he wants to be an actor. He wants to be a TV host, and he wanted more freedom in his next contract. He does political commentary on, News Nation, and he goes on Fox News from time to time. He said if he wanted to do a game show, he could do a game show. If he wanted to do a talk show, he could do a talk show. And I've said this before. The Up for Debate 3-part series on ESPN Plus, which they're going to keep ESPN Plus, by the way, because ESPN Plus has contracts with certain leagues, this, that, and third. But why hasn't Shannon Sharpe done what Charmaine the Guy has done and made a podcast network called the Up for Debate Podcast Network? where he's reaching out to these sports content creators on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music and Podomac and, all these different platforms to say, hey, listen, come to my podcast network. Why hasn't he done that? Number two, Walt Disney did nature documentaries. Why haven't you done Stephen A's Soul of Sports? Because guess what? Black people, my pop people, they play sports all around the world. So you could have done that for Walt Disney Pictures. Or you know what? ESPN Films. How about that? Because you could have been on the big screen everywhere. And then you've never hosted the ESPY Awards. Not one time. You never done the red carpet. Been the red carpet host for it, rather. Not one time. And so because Inside the NBA will be coming to ESPN, Stephen A's agent said that Stephen A. Smith will be a part of NFL coverage. Let me tell you something. I would have a better chance to be a part of NFL Live on ESPN before Stephen A. Smith. You know why? Because I know my role. I drive on my lane on the highway. I shut the fuck up. Hey, let's go with Brandon Lee, who is live outside the stadium with our NFL Live tailgate party. Brandon, what's going on? Man, let me tell you, look who I ran into. The Michael Strahan from Good Morning America. Man, good to see you. How you feeling? Now, listen, there's been a lot going on in the NFL. You hear about this move from, I'm trying to think of an NFL player. From, oh my God, child. From Patrick Mahomes. He wants to be able to do a affirmation app, right? What do you think about that? Because, you being a football player, former football player, New York Giant, Pro Football Hall of Fame, potential minority owner of the team that you played for, you are a very positive guy. So do you believe that sports people can, get into the technology game? I know you're in the technology game too. That would be my role on NFL Live. It is talking to football fans, talking to football players about the media business side of sports during NFL Live, because that is news. But Stephen A is known for NBA, right? And Stephen A is trying to go after Howard Cosell's career. But see, here's the thing. You can never win when you're running somebody else's race. And when you're trying to be somebody else, you were never somebody to begin with in the first place. Let's roll on.
So it allows maybe a larger net for someone of that status to fall and land and be their own boss. So it's a different media culture we're looking at in 2025.
Dan Lust, thanks for making sense of it. All of this, sometimes what doesn't make sense, you make sense of it for us. Thank you so much. Good seeing you. Really appreciate you taking the time.
My pleasure, Jesse. Anytime.
And that's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you should get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.
Jesse Weber, Dan West, thank you both so much for that. Very good coverage from All Prime Network. By the way, that is owned by Dan Abrams, who used to do Dan Abrams Live on News Nation. He used to do Live PD on A&E, but now it's on the Reels Network called On Patrol Live. And he's also an ABC News contributor as well. They're a legal expert. Now, here it is here from KLAS, attorney for Shannon Sharpe's accuser, a no-show in court for first hearing. The first hearing in the lawsuit against Shannon Sharpe took place Wednesday in downtown Las Vegas. A woman filed the anonymous lawsuit suing the Pro Football Hall of Famer for $50 million, accusing him of sexual assault and battery. However, no attorney showed up on her behalf for the first hearing. Clark County District Court Judge Anna Alberson expressed her disappointment in court that no legal representation was present for the plaintiff. Robert Dakovich, a criminal attorney in Nevada who is not a representative in this case, called the move not to appear strange and not in the accuser's best interest. Whether it's to set up a settlement conference or to set hearings for litigation, you expect all parties to be present, Dakovich said. I can't see a tactical advantage to be gained by failing to appear. Sharpe's team, one representative, attorney Robert DeMarco, appeared in court on his behalf. DeMarco said the other attorneys on the case were busy handling other cases out upstate at the moment. Sharpe's legal team is mainly composed of lawyers from New York. Narkovich shared the perspective that it is not in the best move to have legal representation from out of state since the civil suit was filed in Clark County. Generally, it's better to have homegrown counsel, he told 8 News Now, explaining that there's intricacies in our system that a Nevada-based lawyer will understand best. If you have a matter pending in Nevada, it's best to have Nevada counsel. Sharpe's team asked Judge Albertson to review the progress of the case at a later date and extend 45 days. The judge expressed surprise that Sharpe's team did not want to settle sooner, but granted their request. The next hearing is set for September 3rd in district court. So I'll keep you updated on that. And speaking of court cases, from MediaTakeout.com once again, exclusive: Diddy may be sued and charged by feds with more crimes. Yeah, let's get into it. Diddy's legal troubles just got deeper. It's not looking good. Legal heat around Sean Diddy Combs isn't cooling off anytime soon. In fact, it might be about to boil over just when it looked like the hip-hop mogul's federal Mann Act case was headed towards sentencing. Media Takeout is reporting that prosecutors may be preparing to drop more charges on the Bad Boy founder. According to sources close to his legal team, the vibes are looking real grim. Let's break it down. Wow, a shout to Lenny Kravitz, Blue Electric Light Las Vegas, Dolby Live at Park MGM, August 1st through the night. Tickets on sale now through Live Nation Ticketmaster. Shout out to Lenny Kravitz. Let me tell you something. He designs homes, interior design, and he designed the set of the Queen Latifah show. Let me tell you something. When I get my $5 million mansion, I will gladly have the Property Brothers make out the floor plans, and then Lenny Kravitz design the inside, okay? Sincerely, along with me and my wife, okay, when I get there. But anyway, let's roll on here. Diddy is already facing serious federal charges relating to the Mann Act, a law tied to transporting individuals across state lines for illicit purposes. He's set to be sentenced on October 3rd, but it seems prosecutors aren't done with him just yet. This is all alleged. Multiple people confirmed to me and take out that the government approached Diddy's legal team and signaled the possible intent to bring additional criminal charges between now and sentencing day. That move reportedly blindsided Diddy's camp, just like Diddy's camp was blindsided by the Manning Act, that if you are convicted of those charges, that you have to go to detention, that it's required. There is do not pass go, do not collect $200. You, in the words of Willy Wonka, you lose, you get nothing. Good day, sir. That move reportedly blindsided Diddy's camp and was the reason behind the abrupt ending of yesterday's court hearing. What could these new charges be about? While nothing has been confirmed yet, sources close to Diddy's camp are speculating new charges could be linked to the firearms and narcotics found during the high-profile raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami earlier this year. If you recall, back in March, authorities conducted coordinated raids on Diddy's property, seizing multiple electronic devices, substances believed to be illicit drugs, at least one unregistered firearm. At the time, federal agents hinted that their investigation was ongoing, and now it's becoming clearer what they meant. This latest development could mean that Diddy isn't just for leniency on the Mann Act charges. He may be gearing up to face a whole new trial. Now, this is all alleged, okay? We don't know anything as of yet. Media Takeout is a needle in a haystack. Okay, so Media Takeout is known as one of the biggest platforms in the black gossip and black culture news sphere rather. And given the pressure prosecutors are putting on him, it looks like the feds are playing hardball. Is this a tactic to push Diddy toward a deal? Let's be real. This move by prosecutors could be strategic. Some legal experts believe that threatening new charges is a way to push Diddy into taking a sentencing deal that includes serious jail time for his existing convictions. Right now, he hasn't been sentenced, rather, and prosecutors might be using this looming legal clout leverage. Is not uncommon in high-profile federal cases for the government to pile on additional charges to force a better negotiating position, especially when they know the defendant still has some fight left. But this also suggests another possibility. More courtroom drama could be back on the horizon. If Diddy doesn't fold, prosecutors might be ready to drag him back into trial in the coming months. That would mean more witnesses, more evidence, and possibly even more bombshells. And of course, he'd be stuck in jail the whole time. So what does this mean for Diddy? For now, Diddy remains in jail, but his legal team is reportedly scrambling. The threat of new charges, especially ones tied to pals and drugs, could put him at risk of significant federal prison time, potentially decades, if confessions stack up. And prosecutors have the kind of evidence that they seem to be teasing Diddy's legal woes may be far from over. Instead of playing his next business move for music drop, he may be preparing for another fight in court. The bottom line, we've seen plenty of celebrity scandals over the years, but this one feels different. Diddy, once untouchable in the music world, now faces a future that looks uncertain at best and devastating at worst. If these new charges really do hit, we're about to witness one of the most intense legal battles hip-hop has ever seen. Stay tuned, because the streets, the blogs, and the courtroom are all watching. Factual. And listen, I truly believe with Diddy, it's not over until it's over. Everybody's celebrating the fact that he's not going to jail for life. You can celebrate that, but also too, he is a convicted criminal, right? He was found guilty on 2 charges, and each one carries 10 years. So he could still face 20 years in prison, which they're saying, 6 to 8 years from prosecution, 51 to 63 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Diddy's team is asking for less time, but he's the criminal either way. So, all right, y'all, more Brandon's Virtual Tour Live coming up right from this space right here and right now. Let's get to that. For me to take out once again, Charles Oakley says he was just trying to be funny in a viral, shady interview. Now, here's the thing, right? I saw some YouTubers, some content creators, a lot of y'all, shout out to Walt Disney, who said, a lot of you. I saw that Charles Oakley, in titles, Charles Oakley says he doesn't know what he was doing. He was married to Angela, right? Or doesn't know why he was marrying Angela Oakley. So let's get into it. Charles Oakley has walked back on his claims in a recent viral interview that questioned whether or not he had been drugged ahead of his marriage to Real Housewives of Atlanta star Angela Oakley. After the clip went viral, Angela was seemingly unimpressed with Charles' choice of the nuptials and pulled him back in front of the camera to admit that it was all a joke. Charles promised his wife that he would not joke that way about their marriage again. It wasn't planned. We were in Vegas. We just did. He told the podcast host before going on to say that he told somebody that he thinks that someone put something in his drink that night. Okay, so here is the clip right here. Oh, Lord.
I went to Vegas.
Oh.
I took Delta.
Oh, I'm hot. Oh.
And, had a great time. I made a comment about the $1 billion question, and I thought I was drugged and just trying to be funny. It wasn't, some people took it, some people didn't. So
no, you're not funny. It's not funny.
No, but we had, we got married. We had a good time in Vegas.
Oh yeah, we planned to go to Vegas. Yeah, we planned to get married actually. Yeah, you remember that?
We went to Vegas, yeah.
Oh yeah, you remember that? What song did I walk down the aisle on?
Luther.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you remembered all this.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, do you remember asking me to get married?
Huh?
Huh? Do you remember?
Yes.
You do. I don't know if someone who was drugged will remember that.
Drug?
Yeah.
I mean, you said we going to get there. I said I was trying to be funny.
It wasn't funny.
Yeah, well.
It wasn't funny.
I'm not a comedian, so.
You're not Red Fox, no.
Red Fox. Okay.
Eddie Murphy, no.
Okay.
None of that. Yeah. It's hard out here in these streets.
Yeah, we married, so that's what,
Yeah, 8 years.
Yeah.
You lock the door every night, right? Make sure everybody in the house, right?
Yeah, try to always look at the door. Make sure it's locked. But
you're banned from podcasts.
I'm banned from Madison Square Garden, so
you're banned from answering any questions about
Vegas.
Vegas,
Okay.
Yeah. But
I'm banned.
You're banned, but
okay.
You can tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. July 29th, band. Our YouTube
Okay.
channel will be released. You excited?
Yeah.
You gonna tell the whole truth about how we got
You
married?
can see everything.
You gonna tell the whole truth?
There's nothing but the truth.
You gonna let them know real men do cry?
I'm gonna let them know the truth.
And it wasn't no drugs. All right, y'all. We'll see you July 29th. Band. Subscribe.
In the comment section, many viewers appear to support Charles. Y'all don't know it. In like Charles, I thought all black families have a uncle, dad, or grandpa like this. He doesn't know how to show love. If he didn't want her, he wouldn't be with her. Period. One viewer wrote. Another wrote, Charles is hilarious. I hate when reality viewers can't take a joke or just laugh at dark humor. Did Charles take the joke a little far? Now, I'm gonna just say this, right? Because Nelly, in the last episode, right, we'll review episode, I think, 3 tonight. Yes, episode 3 tonight, I believe. Right? Hang on. Let me make sure that I'm on my game. Okay, let me make sure of that. Oh my Lord, hang on, give me a moment. Hang on, let me make sure. Because we did episodes 1 and 2, so I do believe it's 3. Let me see. Yes, so we will be doing episode 3 tonight, okay? When Nelly said that until the baby can speak, hoop, the responsibility is on Ashanti. And there was a commenter that came in the live chat and said that Nelly was just saying that to just, add some flavor to the show. You're Nelly and Ashanti. What else do you need to add to the show? But I think Charles and Nelly don't understand that. Listen, the words of Karen Huger, who is in jail, who I believe will be out by November, because honestly, there's no Roa, there's not Roa, child. Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac. My bad, child. Listen, who is on Karen, who's on Real Housewives of Potomac, who will be out of jail by November, because like I said, there is no Real Housewives of Potomac or RHOP without Karen Huger. I'm not sorry to say that, but she did say, "I'm only judging what you give me." So if you say that, people are going to take that. So you got to be careful, whether on the show or social media, okay? But listen, Charles is just being Charles, okay? So there is that. Now, speaking of people just being people, I want y'all to watch this, okay? This is just crazy. Give me a moment, y'all, because this right here is crazy. Now, this is Jay Nolan. Shout out to Jay Nolan. Y'all listen to this.
At the industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everybody's doing well out there today. In this show, we're going to be getting into Nicki Minaj once more. She has been in the headlines all week, pretty much. Of course, she's been going off on different Twitter rants. She's been calling out Jay-Z. She was throwing shots at Megan Thee Stallion earlier in the week. And today we're going to be following up on a story of Nicki Minaj becoming a streamer, okay? During her rant going against Jay-Z.
You heard that, right? Nicki Minaj wants to be a streamer. So she's basically going to be the female version of Doo-Doo Garbage. Being big mad at Lati Dati and everybody, but never taking responsibility for what the fuck shit she does to herself. Okay, child.
She put out a tweet basically stating, let's get Jay-Z trending before I sign up on Kick or Twitch. She even did a poll that had nearly 100,000 votes from her fans. And I even put a vote in there too as I was going through the tweets. It is official. Nicki Minaj has signed up and created her Kick streaming account. It's been put up by the Kick News Twitter channel, or Twitter page, I should say. And they pretty much give us all the news that's coming through their pipeline. And they've already tweeted it out that Nicki Minaj is officially on Kick. So here we have it from Kick Champ. Nicki Minaj just made her Kick channel. Right? This is a photo of Nicki, and this is a screenshot of her Kick channel.
You're going from Queen Radio, right? Where you basically have a studio. You can go in, come out when you want to now being a streamer on Kick. And this is the queen of rap, you say? Now, here's the thing, right? I pretty much live stream every day, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm off on Thursdays, unless there's something in the culture that needs to be talked about or for a review of the show, and Friday, right? So during the day trial, I did 10 shows a week. All live shows, 10 shows a week. Add the Never Ever Mets, that's 11 shows in 1 week. On a regular schmegular week, 2 shows on Monday, 1 show on Tuesday, 2 shows on Wednesday, 2 shows on Friday. So 2. So 2 on Monday, 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Friday. So that's 6 plus a show on Tuesday. That's 7 shows a week. I don't think Nicki really understands what she's getting to, because with streamers, and it depends on the type of streamer you want to be, right? So there are commentary channels like myself, right? Now, you know, you find your topics and you make it do what it do. Now, you can be a live streamer at that. You can also upload videos. You can also do shorts, right? Then there's in real life streaming, or IRL streaming, where you literally take your phone on a gimbal and you go out into the world. So you can be, you know, in real life streamer about food, about music, about architecture, what have you. So there's category streamers. Then there's in real life streamers that they just do random shit, like Cenat AMP. And I'm not ragging on Cenat AMP. I think what they've done is a one-on-one thing, right? But I will say this. I think that me and AMP, Cenat and Doo Garbage and Aiden, Hater Ross, Stanko, also known as Sneeko, and many others. The reason why we will never collaborate is because what I do is way more intense, way more demanding, and way more intellectual than what they do. All they have to do is wake up stupid, behave stupidly, and they get stupid views. Nothing wrong with that at all, right? But you see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destinations, right? In one show. For me, it's finding the destinations, do my research on them, and then it is formatting the show of what the topics are going to be. How do I create that thread where I've always believed there's going to be at least one thing that you're going to care about. If I can make you find that one thing, then you're gonna be like, oh damn, he did a really good job with, you know, that Shannon Sharpe destination. Okay, let me stick around for Diddy. And then you get to Angela Charles, and then you get to Nicki Minaj, and it's like, this dude knows what he's doing. But I have that stamina because I come from the world of radio, TV. Radio is where I learned to find my voice. Television taught me how to control it, and the marketplace taught me how to diversify it. Nicki Minaj, you're the queen of rap, and you got more resources. I'll put it like this. Nicki Minaj has the resources that Cenat and Aiden Ross are trying to get to. I mean, even in the world of rap, Nicki Minaj is bigger than Doo Garbage. Okay? But she wants to go from Nicki Minaj and this stature to being a streamer. Okay, Trev. Let's roll on.
Just moments after it was created, this was tweeted out at 10:46 p.m. last night. Okay, at the time of this screenshot, there was 32 followers over there. I would assume there's many more over there by now. Let's take a quick little gander over there. Kick, not a big Kick fan, but we'll just check it out for content and accuracy's sake. So I'm over here on the official Nicki Minaj channel. This is live. Well, not live because, of course, this is pre-recorded, but in real time. This is the channel. It's not a fake. At this current time, she has 1.1 thousand followers. She hasn't launched a stream or uploaded any welcome videos or anything.
Y'all remember that Super Bowl commercial with Beyonce Verizon when she was Slayonce? Now, Beyonce has not done a live stream, okay? But I do believe that, you know, Beyonce, you know, she did Renaissance in the disco era, Cowboy Carter. I don't think Beyonce is really into the anime world at all. But I do believe that she is about understanding the culture, right? So I believe, honestly, that, and I remember when YouTube did a partnership with celebrities to have celebrity, you know, channels, and they invested in them in a huge way, and then it eventually got abandoned. But I genuinely believe that if Beyonce ever wanted to do a live stream, right, I would assume that she would probably do it through iHeartMedia's YouTube channel and say, hey, I'm Beyonce. I'm taking over the iHeart YouTube channel. I'm uploading some of my favorite content creators' videos. I'm going to be talking to some of your favorite celebrities. I might bring you up on StreamYard. I feel like she will go about it that way because she's Beyonce, and Beyonce is bigger than Nicki Minaj. Let's roll on.
Like that as of yet. Okay. But she does have an active chat over here. I don't know if y'all can really see him above my head, but she's already got her fans in the chat. They're just waiting graciously for her to launch her first stream. So we've got somebody here in the corner says Queen. Somebody else says if somebody stole her name, this would be a travesty. So somebody is entertaining the idea that perhaps this could be a fake page that somebody went ahead and claimed before she could get to it. I'm not sure, but even if that is the case, I'm sure that she could probably get in touch with somebody on the admin side that could get that taken care of for her. All right, but they're in the chat over here, just spending a day talking. All right, so the Barbs have already infiltrated the spot. Now, as all of this has been taking shape the last couple of days, and we've been tuned in, also someone who's been tuned in is Aiden Ross. Okay, he went on his stream and basically was trying to advocate for her to come over to Kick rather than Twitch, because he felt like if she wanted to express herself completely freely, then she would need to go to Kick. Of course, Aiden Ross is banned from Twitch for different things that he did on his streams over there, and he claims that he has an equity share over there at Kick, and he was willing to share some of his equity with Nicki Minaj if she were to come over there. We'll see if he makes good on that promise. However, they did end up having a conversation last night. Y'all know I don't really care for this guy, but she did have a conversation with him. Nicki Minaj called Aiden Ross on stream and they discussed the benefits of Kick over Twitch. All right, this is a quick clip that we're gonna run here.
I'm a solo video shooter, so I don't have time to organize my footage. I'm even shooting this video myself. Right. And that's why I use Eddie AI.
You know, the pros.
Yeah. Okay. Nicki, I just want to say it's a pleasure to finally connect and talk to you. I'm a big fan. You know what I'm saying? I know you get this a lot, but yeah.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Nicki. So the pros, in my opinion, is because I know you like to talk your shit and just be you. And I feel like you don't gotta worry about any getting in the way, if that makes sense. Like you could just kind of do that, be you. You don't have to worry about bans or any of that. Your fans don't have to watch ads either. Like they don't have to pay to subscribe. And in my opinion, nowadays everything is all clipping. Everything is kind of on TikTok, Shorts, everything, Reels, Instagram Reels. So no matter whatever you stream on Kick, the discoverability may not be as good as Twitch, but they're gonna see the clips everywhere regardless. For your fan base, because I know how they are, I think they would enjoy Kick if you make it Kick, basically. Like you do Kick because you're so free to do it and say whatever you want.
Okay.
All right. So that is Aiden Ross putting his bid in to get Nicki Minaj over on Kick, which we now see she has an account. And we also know that Aiden Ross is a part of the Drake camp, and Drake was supposedly crossing over to become a streamer on Kick as well. That never materialized. The first actual real stream that he did outside of a gambling stream was on his own YouTube channel, where he decided to debut new music just the other day. and he completely decided to skip over the platform that he was suspected to be partnering with and just went straight to YouTube. So I felt that was very interesting, but nonetheless, he does have people like Aiden Ross, Ben the Don, and a whole laundry list of other streamers that are basically waiting for his tour to start, because he's allegedly going to be flying them out on a jet to cover his Wireless Fest performance. All right, so we do see that there is some sort of connection there with Aiden Ross, Drake, and now Nicki. So maybe things are not.
If you got people flying out to see you, does that mean you can't pull in your own audience anymore? Let's roll on.
Not as rocky as people may have projected between these two, Young Money affiliates. Now, on her quest to figure out the correct platform and advice that she needed, not only did she consult with Aiden Ross, but she also reached out to Cenat, and of course, this was also during his stream. So we have a clip of their conversation here as well. Of course, this isn't the full conversation, but a piece of it.
Okay, I mean, then you can. Okay, so with Kick, it's more like it's more like you're able to just like say more and do more in terms of like not getting banned. Like you can say whatever you want, basically, without restricted. But Twitch, in my opinion, is more. I think it's just easier for the viewers. So like the viewers will be able to go to Twitch easier and be able to find you, in my opinion. And it's more discoverability, in my opinion. The things that like you're limited to saying is like things that you just wouldn't say on a normal, which is like slurs and like just bad words and stuff like that.
He did the Homer Simpson. You know what he did? Hang on. Let me show you what he did. He said, "Time is slipping away from me. Yeah. Time." Soon as Cenat said slurs.
Yeah.
If that's the only thing that you can't say on Twitch, I don't think I would have an issue if you can't say slurs.
Yeah.
You can't say slurs.
Nicki, you got locked out of your Instagram, okay? And we've heard you go out before, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's about it though. But Twitch is just easier discoverability, and they'll be able to find you easier. But okay, I mean, then you can. Okay, so
all right.
So shout out to Jay Nolan. I'm just like, wow. Okay, child. Go forth and prosper. You can do a partnership. Like I said, that Beyonce would do is just join a platform that they don't go live often. Say, hey, I'm Beyonce. I'm going to be streaming live on the iHeartMedia YouTube channel, or a partnership that would make sense with your brand. Like, for example, the Sir Davis Whiskey channel, which actually, let me see something. I just want to see something because it's been a minute since we promoted Sir Davis Whiskey. Because I do believe they have a YouTube channel. Yeah, they do, because I promoted it here on Brains for Tour Live. Channel. Let me see. Sir DAVS WHI Whiskey YouTube channel. At least I thought they had a YouTube channel. But anyway, let's just say Sir Davis had a YouTube channel. She would do, hey, it's time to sip. It's time to do some sipping and bucking, right? bucking off on hot topics while sipping some Sir Davis whiskey. Like, there would be a way Beyonce would do that. Okay. All right. So anyway, with that being said, speaking of social media, Musk and Twitter to face trial in Don Lemon lawsuit alleging breach of contract. Yeah. From CNBC.com, broadcast journalist Don Lemon's lawsuit against Elon Musk and social network Twitter can proceed to a trial at Judge Ward this week. Lemon sued Musk and Twitter after the tech billionaire abruptly canceled a partnership with the former CNN anchor. Musk and Twitter have faced a litany of other lawsuits over non-payment to vendors over failure to provide severance as promised to lay off employees from Twitter. I mean, this is the guy right here. This is the guy who said, "Go fuck yourself" to advertisers. Yeah. Ex-CNN anchor Don Lemon's lawsuit against tech billionaire Elon Musk and social network Twitter over the cancellation of the partnership can proceed to a trial. A San Francisco judge ruled this week Musk's team had tried to get the case moved to a Texas court and tried to convince the judge to strike the complaint altogether. Attorneys from Musk and Twitter did not respond to a request for comment. Or Tuesday, Judge Harold Kahn said Lemon and his attorneys possibly allege, among other claims, that Twitter and Musk had committed fraud by false promise, and that there was an implied contract between them. Lemon filed the suit in August of 2024 after Twitter canceled a partnership with the broadcast journalist a few hours after he taped a tense interview with Musk, who owns Twitter. It was a very tense interview, everybody, in the words of Luigi. Shout out to Martin Luigi, everybody. The interview preceded a planned premiere of Lemon's new show on Musk's social network. During the interview, Lemon pressed Musk on several contentious topics he had posted about or amplified on Twitter. Musk had boosted the so-called great replacement theory and other bigoted tropes and falsehoods, including posts that claimed that there was a Hispanic invasion of immigrants to the United States. Lemon also pressured Musk about content moderation on Twitter and reported surging anti-Hispanic comment on the platform that occurred after Musk acquired it as Twitter in a $44 billion leverage buyout in late 2022. And there was a whole lawsuit of Musk did not want to buy, so it was a breakup fee in the billions of dollars, okay, or millions. Either way, it was a lot of money. In late 2022, Musk made sweeping changes after taking over the site, firing huge numbers of personnel and reversing account bans for users who have been booted from the platform after posting hate speech or inciting violence. Musk, who characterized himself as a free speech absolutist, also restored the account of President 47. The site had permanently banned President 47 from the platform in January 2021 following the attack by his supporters on the U.S. Capitol. Lemon's case against Musk and Twitter Corp is in San Francisco Superior Court. A date has not been set for the trial. Musk and Twitter have faced a litany of other lawsuits over non-payment to vendors. So I'm assuming the people that, host Twitter, Google App Store and the Apple App Store. And of course, companies that, house the website. So like Google, Chrome, Firefox, Opera, browser, all that stuff there. And over failure to provide severance as promised to laid off employees from Twitter, Lemon was fired from CNN in 2023 following reports that he mistreated co-workers and made sexist remarks on air, including about politician Nikki Haley, talking about she's not in her prime. Lemon later apologized for the Haley comments. So there is that. What do I think about that? Don Lemon, go forth and prosper, motherfucker. That's what I say. Because, it's about time somebody handled this dumb fuck for sure. Moving on. Speaking of Twitter, there was some big news yesterday that happened. The CEO of Twitter, Linda Yacciano, to step down as CEO of Elon Musk-owned Twitter. Yacciano announced her departure on the social media platform, but did not say why. A day after the platform's chatbot posted a series of anti-Semitic statements. This is from NBC News. Now, she used to work at NBC Universal, by the way. See how meta everything is getting? Holy, let's get into it. Linda Yacciano said Wednesday that she will be stepping down as the CEO of Twitter, the social media platform owned by Musk. The announcement comes just a day after Twitter's Grok chatbot published a wave of anti-Semitic posts, which resulted in the company shutting down its ability to issue text replies, which it should have shut down its ability to issue any replies at all, but that's neither here nor there, but it is important to note. In a post on the platform, Yacciano did not explain the reason for her departure or address the controversy around the anti-Semitic content from Gronk, but said that she was proud of the work the company had done to turn around its business. There's a lawsuit with Don Lemon. Okay. All right. I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, like Twitter back in the day used to be the source for stuff, right? And Twitter, you know, it's kind of a cesspool now. Like, I go on there every so often. Like, for example, shout out to Document Tings. Document Tings has a Twitter account. So there are accounts that I follow, but, you know, it's just to go on, just check in, but I'm not active on the platform, right? So, and not to mention too, not a lot of people, I mean, it's an active platform for those that want to be active on there, but is it in the creator economy where it should be? Fuck no. It was to the point where Elon Musk is trying to get a chief communications officer to help turn around the image of Twitter. The first thing I would do is fucking fire him, Elon Musk. The second thing is clean up the platform. So all the bots, all the hate speech, will bring back in the team that handles safety and protocol. And then guess what? One idea I will say that I think is a good idea, but it would have been good if Twitter was still Twitter, was imagine Brayley's virtual tour live streaming on Twitter, right? And you had not just a live comment section, but after the show, you had all the tweets in response to your live stream. Now, that's cool. I will say that's a good idea. But when you have somebody like Elon Musk who said DEI needs to die, and Swiss Beats and Timberland are bringing verses to Twitter where they should have went to ABC, because ABC is going to receive the Grammys in 2026 or 2027. Holy, but they're the smart ones, allegedly. My Lord Jesus. We start with the critical early work necessary to prioritize the safety of our users, especially children, and to restore advertiser confidence. You had no choice, because, like I said, Elon Musk said, you know, go fuck yourself to advertisers. She wrote, this team has worked relentlessly, said no one ever. From groundbreaking inventions like Community Notes and soon X Money or Twitter Money to bring the most iconic voices and content to the platform. Now the best is to come as Twitter enters a new chapter with Twitter AI. Yacciano's departure was in the works for over a week. A source familiar with the situation told NBC News, after an incredible 2 years, I've decided to step down as the CEO of Twitter. When Elon Musk and I first spoke of his vision for Twitter, I knew it would be the opportunity of a lifetime to carry out the extraordinary mission of this company. I'm immensely grateful to him for entrusting me. Child, give me a moment, yo, because this, I can't. Right here. For entrusting me with the responsibility of protecting free speech and turning the company around, transforming Twitter into the everything app. I'm incredibly proud of the Twitter team. The historic business turn around we have accomplished together has been nothing short of remarkable. We start out with the critically early work necessary to prioritize the safety of our users, especially children, to restore advertiser confidence. This team has worked relentlessly for groundbreaking innovations like Community Notes and soon Twitter Money to bringing the most iconic voices and content to the platform. Now the best is to come as Twitter enters a new chapter with Twitter AI. Twitter is truly a digital town square for all voices in the world's most powerful culture sentinel. We have We could not have achieved that without the support of our users, business partners, and the most innovative team in the world. I'll be cheering you all on as you continue to change the world. As always, I'll see you on Twitter. She posted that at 10:40 a.m. July 9th. So 2 days ago with 12.4 million views. Okay. Let's back to this here because Elon Musk did respond. Yasser joined the company in May 2023 when it was still called Twitter, first serving as chief executive after Musk bought. Before that, she had been the head of ad sales for NBC Universal, the parent company of NBC News. Later that year, she told CNBC that her role was to focus on the business side of Twitter. Elon Musk works on technology and dreams up what's next. She said, and I bring it to market almost 2 years later. It's unclear how much Yasser was able to accomplish. Efforts to make Twitter the everything app have shown few signs of materializing, while Musk has moved to embrace artificial intelligence technology, most notably the chatbot Grok. Musk AI startup Twitter AI acquired Twitter in March in a deal that valued the social media platform at $33 billion. Grok had been broadly embraced by users as a way to add context and fact-checking to posts, but has recently encountered issues with its output. Most notably, Grok stopped responding to user requests Tuesday, after it began to churn out anti-Semitic posts days after update. It wasn't the first time that Yasser had to handle issues around anti-Semitism on the platform as CEO. In 2023, she had to weather the fallout after Musk shared an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory that Jewish groups were a part of a coordinated plot to spread anti-white hate. Musk post caused a wave of advertising departures from the platform, which Yasser was tasked with managing. Yasser stood by Musk's side, defending him even as Musk continued to take actions that were contrary to her statements. In August of 2023, Yasser met with the Anti-Defamation League's John Greenblatt to discuss how to address anti-Semitic hate on Twitter. Days later, Musk began liking content related to ban the ADL hashtag, led by far-right figures on the platform. It was one of several instances in which Musk appeared to publicly sidestep, undermining Yasser's work. Yasser's departure also comes not long after, Musk stepped down from his White House duties and his rolling split among President 47. Musk said in late May that he'll be returning to being super focused on Twitter. Twitter AI has other companies, SpaceX and Tesla, which, by the way, the EV rebate is going away, according to the big beautiful bill, and Elon Musk may be deported. And it would be a shame if Doge went back to attack Elon Musk. What a shame. Musk thanked Yasser for her work in a short post on Twitter. Thank you for your contributions. That's all he said. Oh Lord, during her time as CEO, Yasser has made several highly scrutinized public appearances. In a series of 2023 interviews, she was grilled about her and Musk's distinct roles at Twitter and her leadership of the company. In January 2024, she was compelled to testify before the Senate Judiciary Committee in a hearing on child exploitation alongside the CEOs of Facebook, Snap, and TikTok. Yasser stood out at the hearing supporting legislation to regulate tech companies in the issue of child safety. And as Yasser has highlighted Twitter's work around child safety, the platform has struggled to contain the issue. In June, NBC News found hundreds of posts published per hour on various Twitter hashtags offering up child sexual abuse material, a problem that was first reported in 2023. The child safety technology company Thorn has also ended its relationship with Twitter after alleging that Twitter had failed to pay its bills to the nonprofit, with the platform saying it will begin relying on its own moderation technology. And we see where that has gotten Twitter. So shout out to Jason Bursey, who is the assisting managing editor for Tech and Science for NBC News Digital, and Ben Gargan, who is the deputy tech editor for NBC News. Child, let's roll on. Now, speaking of tech, okay, Twitter, which is a live stream platform, which is connected to Amazon. Y'all, look at this. Look at this right here. Cenat facing backlash for partnering with Target amid ongoing DEI boycott. Here we go.
Where's the official station? Wait, whose up is this? That's me. Oh, that's my setup. Oh. It's mine. Oh, chat. A chat. Oh my gosh. It's time for the Target sleepover, y'all. Where's the official?
The Target sleepover? Cenat is an Afro-Caribbean man. He is Haitian and Afro-Trinidadian. He also disrespected us Black Americans. Also, what Black community are they talking about? Must be talking about the Afro-Caribbean community because he does represent the Black American community. Cenat sold out for money, thought we was boycotting Target, but if their grease ish your palm, it's cool. Kick that ish about morals, but can't stand up with Black people. Cut DI programs. 147 got to office. Shake my head. To the A&P group, Cenat, don't let Target use you. Don't be a sales. Get your product sold out. Bad for business and brand. Cenat is going to Target knowing about the boycott. That means it's time for us to have a conversation that when Black people reach a certain tax bracket, they could care less about the issues of the poor working class. #Target. We're boycotting Target, so they do a Target stream again. This is why I hate streamers, and that they need to be canceled. It's all about clout. It's all for clout chasing purposes, and none of it is about the greater good. Tether's working overtime to undermine every Black American movement this year. Black people, let's boycott Target. We feel like they're on some bullshit immigrants. Damn! If Target thinks partnering with Cenat is going to get Black people to stop boycotting, come back to the stores, they really are hopeless. If anything, this will sure I would take the boycott to the grave. Target's making it very clear that they think the Black community can be bought, especially through influencers. What they're missing is that the people who actually carrying the boycott, the ones hidden their sales, aren't the type to be swayed by that. If someone had the integrity and willpower to avoid your store for 6 months, they're not running back because Cenat did live stream there. This is how you can tell someone. This is how you can tell when someone isn't socially aware. I don't fault bro for not knowing Wale or other rappers, so I do wish his team did their research on Target. Bad deal. So, for the Jasmine brand, popular streamer Cenat's catching heat online after teaming up with Target to debut his new personal care brand Tone, all amid ongoing boycotts over the retailer's rollback of DI initiatives. Social media users have slammed the Twitch star following his overnight live stream at Target store along members of his A&P crew. 23-year-old has been labeled socially unaware and accused of ignoring communities of color. They're taking a stand against the 47 administration attacks on diversity, equity, inclusion programs. Target has been facing major scrutiny from Black communities and leaders like Pastor Jamal Bryant and Tamika Mallory and others who launched the #Target Fast after the company scaled back its DEI efforts. Bryant also weighed in Cenat for sharing a clip from the live stream Bryant on Instagram, and Target would spend as much energy and resources meeting the demands of Target Fast as they are on influencers paying preachers and going to SFS. We will be further along. Facts. #Target, meanwhile, maintains that it's still committed to inclusion. CEO Brian Cornell recently said, "Our commitment to opportunity for all inclusion and belonging is unwavering. These values are foundational to how we serve our guests, support our team, and grow our business." Still, critics feel both disappointed by Kai's participation and frustrated by what they see as Target trying to distract from their DI roadmap by partnering with Black creators instead of addressing the core issue. Do you think the backlash against Kai is warranted, or is he simply making business moves? I think it's absolutely warranted. Abso-fucking-damn-lutely. Like, bruh, let me tell y'all something. Like, for real. If you don't stand up for something, you'll fall for anything. And I sincerely don't get the point of, like, Cenat really can do anything at this point. He is an acceptable Black to mainstream. And like I said, I get it. You know what I mean? It's a business move for him and his crew, A&P, but also, too, without people, you have nothing. I mean, we saw that with B. Simone, who said that she had to shop at H&M, and Charmaine the God, who brilliantly, I say, because, you know, Charmaine the God, he has his faults, but brilliantly clapped back at B. Simone by showcasing, you know, H&M clothing, right? So, you know, I just don't get it, because at that point, you should have just asked Tabitha Brown to read y'all bedtime story and cook for y'all inside Target, because she is still on the Target. She's still with Target as well, trying to support Target. And there are others as well, but mostly the culture has moved away from Target. So it is what it is. Finally, y'all, finally. Chris Brown, everybody. Yes, indeed, there. Okay. So from Rolling Stone, Chris Brown pleads not guilty to 2 more charges in London assault case. The singer allegedly attacked the producer with a tequila bottle at a nightclub in 2023. Chris Brown, okay, yep, I figured as much. All good. That's why we have the other link. That's why we have the other link, y'all. Don't worry. Give me a moment. I figured this was going to happen. That's why we got it right here. But that's where I originally saw it from. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, y'all give me a moment. Give me one moment. Lord Jesus. There we go. Hey, everybody. Hopefully y'all been enjoying the show today. Yes, indeed. Almost done with the show. Y'all just got to pull up this article about Chris Brown here. I figured that was going to happen. By the way, if you are a content creator, if you are not able to get the article on your desktop, don't worry. Just go to your phone, copy the whole article, and post it in your post it on your Google Doc. And then you'll have the article. Make sure this is the right one. Yep, right here. From NBCNews.com, U.S. singer Chris Brown pleads not guilty to lesser charge in the United Kingdom court. Brown last month denied a more serious charge of attempting to inflict grievous bodily harm in what prosecutors said was an unprovoked attack in a London nightclub in 2023. By Reuters, U.S. singer Chris Brown Friday pled not guilty to a charge assaulting, causing actual bodily harm by allegedly attacking a music producer with a bottle in a London nightclub 2 years ago. Brown last month denied a more serious charge of attempting to inflict grievous bodily harm in what prosecutors said was an unprovoked attack on Abraham Dahl in a London nightclub in 2023. The 36-year-old appeared in London's South Wark Crown Court on Friday, where he spoke only to confirm his name and enter his pleas not guilty to causing actual bodily harm and further charge of possessing an offensive weapon in a public place. Brown's co-defendant Omolu Akinolu, 38, also pled not guilty to the charge of causing actual bodily harm, having previously denied attempting to inflict grievous bodily harm. The pair's trial is due to begin on October 26th, 2026. Around 20 supporters sat in the public gallery behind the dock during Friday's short hearing, with two saying, "We love you, Chris," as he left the court. The R&B star, two-time Grammy Award winner, known for his hits such as Loyal, Running, and Under the Influence, and This Is How We Roll, which you can say what you want to about Chris Brown, but that song with Sierra, they both did their shit on that song, okay? That music video would have been a world premiere in 106 & Park if BET was smart about evolving 106 & Park, but they're coming out with 106 & Sports, which nobody asked for. BET was granted bail in May after paying a £5 million $6.7 million security fee in order to begin his breezy old XX tour. Brown was arrested at a hotel in Manchester, England, in May after returning to Britain for the first time since the incident 2 years ago. So, what do I think about this? I mean, we'll see what happens with Chris Brown. I mean, of course, Chris Brown is Chris Brown. So he's always going to have supporters, and he's always going to have detractors because of what he did to Rihanna. But him and Rihanna are good. Rihanna has said that many times. And also, too, there was a hug between Rihanna and Chris Brown. I think it's something that saying that they're all good, right? So, finally, here's some good news for y'all from the Jasmine brand. Beyonce trades car for a horse prop after mid-air malfunction on a Cowboy car tour. Beyonce has officially swapped out the flying car used in 6 carriages for a gold horse prop. The change happened during the first night of her tour stop in Atlanta. Fans quickly noticed the upgrade. The car, which previously soared through the arena during the Cowboy car tour, reportedly experienced a mid-air malfunction. At a prior show, we covered that here bringing this virtual tour live. Y'all feel the gold horse. Y'all feeling the gold horse route, or should she have scrapped this part of the show entirely? Well, here's the thing, right? 16 Carriages is about, her story about, how she grew up and stuff. So 16 Carriage has, a horse. Yeah, I mean, it's still an amazing time. So here it is here.
New at 11, frightening moments for superstar Beyonce at her concert in Houston tonight. Something malfunctioned as she rode in a red Cadillac suspended in the air while performing her song 16 Carriages. It started to lean and appeared to get stuck. Beyonce could be heard calmly repeating the word, stop. The car was eventually brought down. Beyonce then took the stage, thanking her fans for their patience, saying, quote, if ever I fall, I know y'all will catch me. She improvised the rest of the song to thunderous applause and went on to finish the show. That is freaky.
Yeah, that's a serious tilt to that car.
Yeah.
Not supposed to happen.
So there you go. So like I said, people are still going to go to the Cowboy car tour. And let me tell you something, that tour is making waves beyond what the whole entire country music industry could have ever done in the years of existence that they've been around. But also too, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Linda McBride, I'm trying to think, Linda McTeal, I'm trying to think, Linda something. Listen, I'm trying to think who else. Charlie Pride, Darius Rucker, Mickey Guyan, K. Michelle, by the way. K. Michelle, shout out to K. Michelle. K. Michelle is in her bag. Very proud of her. So, like I said, gold horse or not, people are still coming to see Beyonce. Y'all, that is the show. I'm going to turn on my camera now because we done the whole show for over an hour. Yes, we have. Woo! What a show this morning, this afternoon. It's 52 minutes after 12 p.m. Like I said, real good show today. Like I said, we definitely talked about a lot. Shannon Sharpe, we will have to wait and see what the end of that is going to be. If it does go to trial, you better hope discovery is not that bad. Like I said, with PD, of course, we know that it was far from over anyway. So if there are new charges, guess we got to get ready to go on tour again for the trial. But can we also have a reprieve, though? Because it was a lot to cover that every single day. Live at 6 o'clock for me and for a lot of people. But, hey, we made it do what it do. And listen, the Diddy sector is huge with money. So even though sentencing has not happened, they are still making money in that sector. I will say that the Diddy sector has beat the Jaguar Wright sector. Shout out to the content creator I was watching that he said after the trial, where has Jaguar Wright been? Where has Gene Deal been? But Gene Deal has still been doing interviews. Jaguar Wright, after the trial, we've never heard from her since. Charles and Angela Oakley, I have to say, I really love those two. I think they can handle their own show. They don't have to be on Roa. But I do love the fact that Charles is like, listen, I'm supporting my wife, but this is what my wife wants to do, not me. Nicki Minaj going from the queen of rap to being a streamer. Man, a person with no other talents. How dreadful. Don Lemon going after Elon Musk and Twitter. Take him for every motherfucking thing he's got. Cenat, bro, listen, you got the right to do what you want to do, but it shouldn't be at the detriment of your community, bro. Just say. Just saying. That would be like Target asking me, hey, Bray, would you like to do Brainley's virtual tour live from a Target? And we'll do a contest where you can bring in 20 of your fans and y'all can hang out and y'all can, eat food and all that type of stuff. It's like, no. And no. Until you do right by my people, I'm free to do what I want to do. So no. And then, of course, Chris Brown, like I said, we will have to wait and see. He pled not guilty. And of course, you know, there is the court of public opinion, but then there's the court of law. Then Beyonce riding on a gold horse. People are still going to go see Beyonce regardless. If it was a gold horse, a person, this, that, the third, whatever the hell, people still going to see Beyonce. So that is it for me. I'll see y'all a little bit later on tonight for Nelly and Shanti. We belong together. One love, much love, all love. I feel love, and send it right back to you. Bye, everybody.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.